They went back and did an MRI on her whole spine, and they found that her whole spine was just riddled with cancer. My name is Luke Berkvold, and when I was 12 years old, my mom was diagnosed with brain cancer. She had a tumor the size of a baseball in her brain, and so she had chemo, surgery, radiation. She had all of that. After 10 years of battling cancer and doing regular checkups, during a normal checkup, they saw something suspicious. They went back and did an MRI on her whole spine, and they found that her whole spine was just riddled with cancer. About a year, less than a year, than after the spinal diagnosis, that was probably the scariest moment, was when she was put in an ambulance and taken 15 minutes down the road to the hospice house. I just remember feeling like my whole world was falling apart. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. Just remember that moment just being very, very scary. You know, through all the MRI treatments and all that, I'd been with my mom through a lot of that. And so I had negative connotations with hospitals. First thing that I thought of when I was at the hospice house of just, wow, this is so nice that there's just this environment that's peaceful, that it didn't feel like a hospital, right? It didn't feel like a place that my mom was going to pass away. It just felt like she was going to go to another home. Yeah, I just remember walking in and the receptionists were very friendly, and I remember also how quiet it was. I had gone to the chapel a couple of times, but there were so many different environments, even just going up and down the halls or going outside. I would very often go out in the backyard area, and I just remember that the whole environment just felt like I could gather my thoughts. I could really just be at peace there. I didn't feel like someone was going to try and overstep or anything and ask me how I was doing, or in a way that, you know, was beyond what I needed. And I just felt like there was just a lot of professionalism, a lot of understanding that people in those situations who have loved ones that are most likely on the last days of their lives, that they just need space most of the time. And that if they need somebody to talk to, they know that there are people there that they can talk to. It was just really nice to just have that environment of peace. One thing that the hospice house really solves that I think is not necessarily self-evident is just how it eliminates a lot of details that you may have been doing yourself, right? And in my situation, it was my dad was having to do all of these things to try and take care of her, and it was just so nice that all of those details, her medications, you know, everything was solved by somebody else. And it was really nice that the logistical aspects of this difficult time were handled elsewhere, and that we didn't have to think about, you know, and worry about all that, you know, those details. And it's not like a hospital where there's, you know, monitors beeping everywhere and people running up and down the halls. And I went to many of my mom's appointments, and there's a certain element of chaos that comes from a hospital, just with, you know, everything going on. There might be some alert that goes on the monitors or something, and it's just the environment at hospice house is catered just for peace, for all those logistics to be handled by somebody else, so that you can just focus on what's most important, is just to be together and be present with one another, and just enjoy however much time you have left with that loved one.